Could the Lakers be staring at their defensive future, a towering presence who might not solve their immediate problems, but could anchor their championship hopes for the next decade? What happens when a young, elite rim protector becomes available, and a franchise must choose between instant gratification and long-term dominance? Dereck Lively II has burst onto the NBA radar as that quintessential future center. 7 feet of wingspan, an intimidating presence in the paint, and already flashing the kind of defensive instincts that can completely disrupt opposing offenses. For a Lakers team that have consistently struggled with interior protection and athletic freshness, Lively represents a clear advantage. But he's not a player without significant costs and conditions that could fundamentally alter their championship timeline. In scouting reports and specialized analysis, Lively is frequently described as a developmental project with an extraordinarily high probability of evolving into an elite rim protector. His shot-blocking ability, pick-and-roll coverage, and admirable physical presence are already impressive for such a young player. While he hasn't arrived with a complete offensive arsenal, what's expected from a player in his role is precisely that technical evolution accompanied by increased minutes and responsibility. If the Lakers were to make this bet, they would be purchasing a high upside risk that could pay dividends for years to come. Unlike trading for injured veterans or high-salary players with limited ceilings, acquiring a young talent like Lively would represent a medium to long-term investment. It aligns with intelligent rebuilding policies and preserves future maneuvering capacity, giving the organization flexibility while adding a foundational piece. However, this creates a fascinating contradiction. The Lakers front office would need to evaluate whether they prefer to maximize immediate championship chances with an all-in acquisition or accept a construction project that pays dividends several years down the line. The price to pry Lively away from Dallas could include valuable draft picks or even promising young players, forcing a complex risk-reward calculation that goes to the heart of organizational philosophy. Reports and simulated proposals circulate frequently, including fictional trades that position Lively as the central asset in a potential deal with the Lakers, which only demonstrates how much his stock has risen throughout the league. This isn't just speculation. It's a reflection of how highly NBA executives value his unique combination of size, athleticism, and defensive instincts. Think about what Lively could bring to the Lakers' defensive identity. Their struggles with interior defense have been well documented, often leaving Anthony Davis to carry an enormous burden as both rim protector and help defender. Lively's presence would immediately alleviate that pressure, allowing Davis to play more freely and aggressively, knowing there's a legitimate shot blocker behind him. The psychological impact alone could transform their entire defensive approach, making opponents think twice about attacking the paint and creating easier defensive rotations for the perimeter players. Beyond the technical value, there's a crucial cultural factor that cannot be ignored. Lively will develop best under coaches who know how to extract the potential and in environments that don't rush his development or burn him out early. The Lakers, with their laser focus on immediate championship contention, might not offer the ideal timeline for calm, patient evolution. This creates a fundamental tension between organizational needs and player development that could determine whether this potential acquisition succeeds or fails. The Western Conference context makes this decision even more compelling. The conference has become increasingly physical and demanding, with teams like Denver, Phoenix, and others boasting formidable frontcourt presences. Having a young, athletic rim protector who can match up with these physical challenges while providing the energy and intimidation factor that veteran centers often lack could be the difference between playoff disappointment and championship success. However, the Lakers must honestly assess whether they're prepared for the patience this investment would require. Lively isn't going to immediately solve their defensive problems or provide the instant impact that LeBron James' championship window demands. He's a player who needs time, coaching, and gradual integration into high-pressure situations. For a franchise accustomed to immediate results in superstar-level production, this represents a significant philosophical shift that extends far beyond basketball strategy. The financial implications are equally important. Acquiring Lively would likely require trading away assets that could be used for more immediate help, potentially including young players who are already contributing or draft picks that could be packaged for established veterans. The opportunity cost of choosing long-term potential over short-term impact could be enormous, especially if LeBron's championship window closes before Lively reaches his peak effectiveness. Yet, There's an undeniable appeal to securing a player who could anchor the Lakers' defense for the next decade. While other teams are mortgaging their futures for aging veterans, the Lakers could be positioning themselves for sustained success beyond the current era. Lively's combination of size, athleticism, and defensive instincts represents exactly the kind of foundational piece that championship organizations build around. The development timeline also favors this type of acquisition. Unlike older players whose skills might be declining, Lively is just beginning to scratch the surface of his potential. His work ethic, coachability, and physical tools suggest a player who could continue improving for several years, potentially becoming the kind of defensive anchor that defines championship teams. The Lakers' coaching staff, led by experienced veterans who understand how to develop young talent, could be the perfect environment for maximizing his growth. From a roster construction standpoint, Lively would provide the Lakers with something they've lacked for years: a legitimate, intimidating presence in the paint who doesn't require significant offensive touches to be effective. His ability to impact games through defense, rebounding, and energy would complement their star players perfectly, creating the kind of balanced roster that can compete at the highest level. The conclusion is both straightforward and complex. Dereck Lively II represents a sensible bet for anyone thinking about the Lakers' defensive future. He's not a magical solution for present moment, but he possesses a type of upside that could transform the team's defense over the coming years, provided the front office is willing to pay the price in draft picks or young players and accept a period of development and maturation. This decision ultimately comes down to organizational philosophy and risk tolerance. Are the Lakers willing to sacrifice some immediate championship equity for long-term defensive dominance? Can they balance the urgency of LeBron's remaining years with the patient development that Lively would require? These aren't just basketball questions. They're fundamental organizational choices that could define the franchise for the next decade. Do you think the Lakers should prioritize immediate championship help or invest in a young defensive anchor like Dereck Lively II? Would his rim protection and athletic presence be worth the development time and asset cost? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe this represents a kind of forward-thinking move that separates great organizations from good ones, make sure to hit that like button. Sometimes the most important decisions are the ones that require the most patience and vision.